Today is another day, and today is about taking more material off the old trailer so I can use it on the new trailer. So earlier I mocked up the leaf spring hangers and the leaf spring onto the trailer, believing that the height of what I have it set at from the ground to the top of the trailer is 32 inches, that I believe that the 3-inch seat channel that you see there in front of you, this red piece, I was calculating and hoping that this 3-inch piece drop down would be suited for the height needed to carry everything when it comes to the triaxle. So running some measurement test and lifting up this, putting it where it needs to go onto the hanger, there is a distance left between the perch and the bottom of the leaf spring of 2 1/4 inches. So it's, that 3-inch drop is not enough. So between the 3-inch to 2 1/4, obviously that's 5 1/4, I now calculate that the 6-inch seat channel that's being used on the trailer, I believe will work. If it's, even though it measures out 3/4 of an inch larger, I think that 3/4 of an inch will work out well to my benefit, because that measurements that I gave were just based on no load on it, like no trailer weight load, which I think would set probably down a little bit as far as that goes, and still leave me at a 3-inch clearance from the top of the tire to the bottom of the deck where it would sit on top of the 4-inch channel. I feel as though that the measurements that I'm giving now are important, and showing the way I was mocking it up with, the typical welding clamps and setting it up into believing that the 3 inches will work. We'll come to find out it won't, which is fine. It's not like I welded it in, but I will be dismantling the rest of the trailer, which is left. And the other thing I want to show is the other axle is ready. Earlier, well, actually maybe, I think yesterday, actually, I took care of the second axle, not only making sure that the end where it was cut and rewelded was correct, I went and added the perches on top of the tubes in the correct place on both sides. And I did it obviously the same way I showed in the prior video of the left side that had the perch on the bottom for the leaf spring to be mounted from the bottom instead of the top, measuring up from top to bottom on both sides, making it even, then leveling up the axle where the top of the perch was level, and then going to the other side and putting the perch on there and making that level, clamped it, and then obviously you can see I welded it in already. So this axle is ready, and earlier I called and ordered my third axle. The benefit to that axle is that axle is rated for 7,000 pounds, just like the leaf springs that I got from the same company, Dexter. Those are rated 3,500 pounds each, so obviously together they're 7,000 pounds, and the axle that I ordered based on the measurements of what this one is will be 7,000 pounds. So that's even better. Still probably just going to register it at 18,000 pounds because of the triaxle. If I decide to go a little bit more, then I will, but it's not a big a deal. Obviously, the more the weight that you registered, the more money it costs. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set you up on the trailer. I mean, not on the trailer. I'm going to set you up on the tripod, and I'm going to show just how I'm going to cut off the rest. I'm not going to take the torches to it. I'm going to use the cut wheels because I want to make clean cuts all the way around to separate this 6-inch seat channel so that I can get the most out of it because I need two pieces at 103 inches to go from this cross support to the one up forward where the third axle ends at as far as leaf springs go. So it's 103 inches. And then it'll carry right across all the supports. And I need two of them. So I'm going to set you up, plug this in so that this way I don't lose power. And you'll get to see basically just a mess. And obviously once I get to the point where it's boring or whatever, I will definitely put it on hold, and then at the end fire it back up and finish out the video that way. And hopefully the way I have this set up, it'll not have my back to you. Hopefully my front will be to you. I don't like having my back to all this, and I'm actually going to put the light on that comes with this camera, and hopefully that'll help, because I noticed that when it gets a little bit towards the end of the day, and not only that, because of the canopy, it does create a nice shade. So I'm going to get to work and get it done. In the meantime, I'm going to turn this so I can see it. And there it is. Alright. Yeah, so I think the first is going to be on either corner, taking the cuts to them, and then once they're cut this way they'll stay in place. Then I'll separate it from, I guess you would call this an A-frame that goes to the hitch. I'll do that after these two parts, these two corners are cut. That's the trick. Alright. Get myself. Okay. The one thing I'm going to say first is about this new helmet that I got. I actually ordered it on Amazon, and I really do like it. It has 3 settings inside. See if I can get a little closer so that you can see the helmet. And the name of it is Welding Helmet Pro. I guess that'd be 2.5. And it's called Yes Welder. I guess that's the brand name. And it has a nice shield in the front so that when you change the setting to either cut or grind, which is on the inside, it protects all the hardware that's on the inside of this. It's one of the reasons why I like it, because then I can use it as a shield when I am cutting or grinding. And I'm going now to put it on cut, which is in the middle setting, and that this way it'll do what it's supposed to do. Alright, so here we go. So if anybody's interested, Amazon, that's where I believe I found it. I put in welding helmets, and then when I was done with that, I actually got ordered welding gloves from them as well. And even though I have Amazon Prime, I took 2 days to get it because of the other items that I ordered, not directly coming through Amazon, but because Amazon was delivering it, they didn't want to make one trip one day, the next day make another trip just on single items. But in this case, I got 3 items all at the same time 2 days later, which was fine. One other thing I should mention too is that the helmet came with 2 batteries. One was already in it, and it only requires 1 battery. So it gave you a spare battery, and I believe 2 extra shields, plastic shields. Definitely one. I'm not 100% sure on the 2, but they definitely give you an extra one. So I thought, and actually it was under $80. It was 70 some odd dollars. So I know it was under 80. So I thought that was a great deal, because the other helmet I've been using that I bought back in 2008 that I mentioned, that was about $350, because it was the Elite, and it was a Miller Elite. So I guess because of the flames that were on the side of the helmet and whatever else, they wanted more money, and I didn't care. I bought it. But this time, I like this. This definitely works. And as soon as the light gets kind of bright with the grinding, it does dim down, not dark, but enough to where it's comfortable and you can continue to do what you were doing, and that's cut. Let's see, I guess I gotta get underneath the bottom. Yep, this ought to be fun. Get this wire out of the way. I think I gotta cut. There's an angle iron piece on the behind this C channel here in the front, and that was for the decking, so that the decking would hit it. And I think that's welded to it on that bottom rail, so I'm gonna sneak on in there and cut it off. That just might work. I'm gonna cut this piece. Oh, and one other small detail. I am not being sponsored by this company, by the Hillman Company. I just felt as though that if anybody was looking, that if they wanted any sort of advice, if they wanted to save a little bit of money, this would be the helmet that I would choose again. And like I said, I'm not being sponsored by this company or any other company for that matter. It's just a little insight on if you're looking for something like this or any other of the tools I spoke about recently, just like the chop saw, being that I use a rigid chop saw. I also have 5 other tools from Rigid, which are cordless. They're battery operated, obviously, and 2 of them are impact guns, one 1/2-inch drive, the other one's 3/8, and I have 2 ratchet form ones, and one is a 3/8 drive and the other is a 1/4-inch drive, and then I have the Rigid light that you've seen me use. I've always tried to buy, in this country, buy made in America, which is really hard to do, but sometimes you can and sometimes you can't. But when it comes to certain tools, being that I've used a lot of them over the years, from my building career to fabrication stuff, I know what I like to buy. I know what'll last longer. And even if I have to spend a little bit more money, for me it's better. I don't want to buy it twice. Just want to buy it once and have it last. So in the meantime, that kind of gives you an idea what I'm doing here. And once it's all really cut up and I'm ready to use it, then I'll show it. But in the meantime, let's see. In the meantime, I think that'll end this video. I know it's a short one, but it's a real point one as far as measurements go and using the material I already have. So this way, there's really not much left of the trailer when it's all said and done, what I had before. And that was kind of my whole approach. My idea is to utilize what I had and not have to spend that much more money to get what I wanted in the end. And that's that. And tomorrow, actually, I will be picking up the extra 3 pieces of the C-channel, plus the rub rail, I believe, is already in, but the 4-inch C-channel will be in tomorrow. So either in the afternoon, maybe in the morning, I'm not sure. My boy Daniel will let me know, and I'm going to go down there and snatch up the material on his trailer and bring it back, so that this way I can continue to keep moving forward. But in the meantime, I do appreciate people watching. Make a comment, thumbs up if you like, subscribe, tell somebody else, maybe they'll subscribe. I'm trying to get as many followers as I can, obviously just like everybody else. And being that I'm new to this YouTube thing, I do appreciate it. Thanks for watching.